It's rare that the worlds of comedy and World War II come together, and even rarer still that their product creates something hilarious and meaningful. With 4chan extremists and war funder shitposts dominating much of the niche, there's little room for anything else, much less any serious attempt to fuse the genres. But what if there was a film that did all of this, presenting a tragic depiction of life under Nazi occupation, whilst also delivering a hilarious take on fanatic ideology?
And where the queen Jew lays the eggs. You really are an idiot.
A film that almost wasn't made because of how bold it was, and yet would go on to win an Oscar. The film in question is Jo Jo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit is a coming-of-age story set in Germany during World War II. The film explores the life of Jo Jo Betzler, a 10-year-old Nazi fanatic who discovers a Jewish girl hiding in his house. Throughout the course of this film, Jojo grapples with his devotion to the Nazi party and the growing affection he has for this girl. Jojo has fallen for a blind extremism that many people experienced during the rise of the Nazi party, which the film likens to the rise of Beatlemania in the US. His social life is dominated by fanaticism, and so any chance he has of being a normal 10-year-old with friends, activities and school must be done so within the Nazi regime. And on top of this, Jojo has an imaginary friend in the form of Hitler. So when Jojo discovers a Jewish girl hiding in his house, his initial reaction is one of hate. However, this relationship begins to thaw over the course of the film, as various experiences begin to challenge the ideology's grip over Jojo. But it's not just Jojo's relationship with Elsa that shows this. An important aspect of the film is the symbolism that's used. And there are a number of recurring symbols, but one of the most important is the rabbit. During the youth camp, Jojo is selected for a test of bravery by killing a rabbit. For a movement that holds ideas of strength and bravery in such high regard, the killing of a helpless creature such as a rabbit is extremely ironic. However, Jojo is unable to kill the animal and is mocked by the group.
Jojo Rabbit, Jojo Rabbit.
This test of bravery is intended to transform Jojo from a boy into a man, and by demonstrating his ability to kill an innocent animal, he is proving both his loyalty to the party and his ability to fight as a soldier. However, Jojo's refusal to kill the animal demonstrates his desire to retain his childhood. He is not prepared to part with this innocence. So Jojo runs away from the group and he looks to his imaginary friend for comfort.
Let me give you some really good advice. Be the rabbit. The humble bunny can outwit all of his enemies.
He then embraces this identity and associates the rabbit with the Nazi ideology. However, we soon start to see the transformation of this symbol into something distinctly anti-ideology.
What are we going to do with these laces, huh? My goodness.
This is first seen when the rabbit motif enters the film once more, in the form of a method Jojo's mother uses to tie his shoelaces. The fact that this symbol is used to highlight Jojo's dependence on his mother further cements it as an indicator of his innocence and young age. His dependence on his mother is also emphasised when she ties his shoelaces together, forcing him to hop like a rabbit and call to her for help. Jojo views the rabbit as something that is holding him back from becoming a man. However, he soon starts to reconcile with this idea. We first see this when Jojo spots a rabbit whilst hunting for food for him and Elsa to eat during winter, which shows a growth in his independence. And when looking for his highly anti-Semitic book on the characteristic of Jews, he comes across a drawing of a rabbit locked in a cage, with Jojo on the outside with a key in his hand. This represents Jojo's internal struggle of whether to accept his identity as a rabbit and reject the Nazi ideology, which he chooses to do. And this decision is made final when he leads Elsa to the front door and ties her shoes for her using the rabbit method. This demonstrates not only Jojo's reconciliation with the rabbit idea, but also the fact that he is able to become a man without conforming to the Nazi interpretation of it. But this idea of masculinity isn't exclusive to just the symbolism. In fact, it's pretty clear throughout the film. As Jojo's father is absent, he lacks a clear paternal figure. So Jojo accounts for this by creating an imaginary friend in the form of Hitler. This represents Jojo's desire to be accepted into a group, as he lacks a sense of community at home. Without an actual father figure present, there is an opportunity for the ideology to force their own idea of masculinity.
We will crush our enemies into dust.
One of a soldier and a fanatic Nazi. This manifests itself in the advice that Hitler gives Jojo, which is extremely hateful and without any critical awareness. Furthermore, Hitler offers Jojo cigarettes on occasion throughout the film.
Cigarette?
The symbolism of cigarettes reflects the toxic and harmful relationship Jojo has with his imaginary friend.
Stop offering me damn cigarettes! I'm 10!
Okay.
However, the fact that Jojo declines his offers and even scolds him for the suggestion implies that Jojo is aware of this harmful relationship to an extent. But Hitler isn't the only male role model in Jojo's life, and one source of reason and empathy comes in the form of Captain Klesendorf. When we are first introduced to this character, we immediately see his resentment towards the Nazi party, which manifests in his lack of enthusiasm for the youth camp. This can also be seen in his attitude towards Jojo's questions about Jews.
I'm writing a book.
Oh, congratulations. What's it called?
You Who Jew. It's an expose on Jews.
Not only does he find the book Jojo is writing about them absurd and hilarious, he subtly dissuades Jojo from reporting any Jews he might find.
Can I ask you a question about Jews?
Oh, God. Why?
And when he arrives at the house during a Gestapo investigation, he helps Elsa to lie about her identity.
Correct. Thank you, Inga.
He is also much more sympathetic towards JoJo's scars, and as he shares his own injuries, there is a level of empathy between the two characters. Finally, when JoJo is taken prisoner by soldiers, Kleisendorf sacrifices his own life in order to save JoJo's, and it is through this contrast to his imaginary friend that JoJo is eventually able to rid himself of Hitler.
Fuck off, Hitler.
On a side note, I just want to talk about my favourite character this entire film, Yorki. JoJo's best friend is just the best character in this entire film. He is literally always the voice of reason, and he's a 10-year-old. When JoJo tells him he wants a girlfriend, he is thrilled for him, and even when he tells Yorki that she is Jewish, he just completely supports him. Also, how the hell did this guy even survive the entire film? I mean, he gets shot at, blown up, and he just takes all of it. I mean, he truly is the best character. Anyway, Captain Kleisendorf isn't the only person who helps JoJo, and one of the main ways that the film tackles ideology is through JoJo's relationship with his mother and Elsa. JoJo's mother is a sober influence in his life, encouraging him to hold on to his childhood and allowing him to be a normal kid in her presence. However, she also forces JoJo to confront the brutality of the Nazi regime. One of the ways which JoJo's mother encourages him to resist this ideology is through dancing, which is an expression of her own freedom. And when Rosie dances, the focus often shifts to her shoes, which offer movement and colour to a dark and regimented existence. However, these shoes will later be used in a much more sinister way when JoJo discovers the death of his own mother. Elsa too shares this desire to express her freedom through dance, and she tells JoJo's mother that this is the first thing she will do when she is free. When JoJo initially discovers Elsa, he sees an opportunity to bully someone he believes is inferior to him. But when his physical attempts fail, he exploits Elsa's fear about her fiancé. However, the letter he writes results in her becoming extremely upset, and this is a pivotal part of the film. Instead of feeling satisfied, JoJo feels incredibly guilty, prompting him to write a second letter to rectify this. And as JoJo continues to spend more and more time with Elsa, she begins to challenge his perception of Jews.
Where's the horns? Under the hair.
Elsa is empathetic about JoJo's scars, unlike the Nazis, and tells him that he is not really one of them.
You're a 10-year-old kid who likes swastikas and likes dressing up in a funny uniform and wants to be part of a club.
And when JoJo's mother is killed, he initially takes this out on Elsa and tries to stab her, but instead of this angering her, she comforts JoJo. This highlights a key difference between Elsa's relationship with JoJo and his relationship with the Nazis. Where she is willing to comfort and forgive him, they are unwavering in their fanaticism. And this relationship allows JoJo to grow up in a natural way and embrace freedom, seen through his dancing with Elsa at the end of the film. And through these symbols, ideas, and characters, the film does a remarkable job of dismantling JoJo's loyalty to the Nazi party.